Hello, it's Brian from Roboticy again, and it's time to introduce yet another simple little kit. What I have here today is just this 3-color LED, which is on a small circuit board. Again, we don't make these, I just buy them. We get them in big groups. Unfortunately, they come from China, so they take quite a few weeks to get here. But what we've done is bundle it up in another convenient little case or a kit that makes it easy to hook up because it's so frustrating getting all the pieces. So you get the LED, the tricolor LED, about 10 centimeters of already crimped wire, a 4-position hood which clips nicely over the LED unit, a 3-position hood and a single-position hood, and I'll explain why here in a minute, and a little bit of a sex change adapter so that you can use it with various both male and female inputs. So the first thing you need to know is how to hook this up. Again, if you look carefully at these cables, you'll see that one side is rather flat. The other side, you can see bits of the copper wire. It has a bit of a hook or a catch on it. Okay. And on the hoods, you can see that one side is perfectly flat and the other side has these square boxes and catches. Notice the slots and then the catch. The wire goes in on the larger square hole side, not the smaller square hole side, down into the catch. So you want to have it so that the copper end, the rough end, not the smooth end, part where you can see the crimping and everything, faces up. And it should just slide in and lock. See, it won't come back out. It catches right here. Alright, so let me just do that real quick. And come on. There we go. And once it's in there, it'll have a really good tight feel. It'll be definitely caught. Okay, so now it's caught nicely, and this of course will sit just beautifully right on to these pins here. Okay, now this side, the reason I give you a couple different here, almost always if you're going to be using something more contemporary like this teensy based board, or if you're going to be using an old Arduino, you can almost always find 3 pins in succession. So I can hook it up to any 3 of these, and then I have to separate one by ground. Okay. All right. Even on this board, the way it works is each I/O goes in this axis. So every group of pins, if I stand it this way, you'll see that the pins closest to the chip are the signal. The row next to that is going to be power, and the row next to that is going to be ground. So we have to separate a little bit. So to hook it up to something like this board, you would take this shield here, the 3-position. You're going to take the 3 wires that hook up to the colors RGB. So in that case, on my cable, which by the way is randomly chosen because I just get them in big groups, okay, my blue wire happens to correspond to the negative or ground, and then I have the purple, the gray, and the white hooked up to RGB, red, green, blue. So I'm going to take that ground wire aside, and I'm going to simply insert these 3 into this 3-position hood, like so. Snaps in. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to use this 1-position hood for the ground, like that. That way I can hook this up, and I can simply take this row of 3 and span it across, for example, pins 12, 11, and 10, and then take this remaining one, which is the ground, and put it anywhere on the ground bus. So I'll just stick it, oh, I don't know, there. Okay, so now we have this light connected to pins 12, 11, and 10, and let's see if I can get that set someplace where you can see it. A good twist. We'll deal with that in a second. And the blue one to ground. Now a quick little bit of code, and I'll paste it below this video. It's really trivial. I've set up pins 12, 11, and 10 as constants, okay, for the blue, the green, and the red. Under the setup, whoops, that's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Sorry about that. It doesn't change that much, but we'll start off the same, but end it differently. The red, the blue, and the green I've set up as pins 12, 11, and 10. Under the setup, I've set all of those pins to output, okay? And then down in my main part of my loop here, I'm just going to tell it to digital write to the red, tell it to go high, in other words, turn it on. We're going to stay on for 200 milliseconds, and then we're going to go low or turn it off. Then I'm going to move down to the green. I'm going to digital write the green high, turn it on. 200 milliseconds later, I'm going to turn it off. And then I'm going to jump to the blue. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to wait 200 milliseconds. I'm going to turn it off, and then it's going to loop infinitely. So if I load this up, okay, it looks a little bit flashed out there with the camera, but you can see it's flashing red, green, blue at 200 millisecond intervals quite nicely. So why these other pins? Okay, because the Unos are all female pins, or all female sockets. So what we have to do is we have to convert these from to be able to plug into them. So actually I'm not going to cut this 4-1, which I'm going to ship you. I'm going to cut one of these. Normally these come in big long strips and I snap them with my fingers. You can't really do that when it's just 1 or 2 pins. It just can't. Maybe you can. I can't get my fingers in there to grab hold of it well enough. So find something like a pair of nips. Okay. Simply take and cut it. Try not to hurt yourself. Alright. And then you can take these pins and insert them. Actually, I didn't even have to split that. I could have left that all in one. I could have had, in fact, that would have been much smarter. I could just have 3 and then 1. But you'll see now that I can take, for example, this ground, and I can insert it into the ground pin of the Uno. And then I can insert these into any of the other pins, so I can plug it directly into the Uno. So hopefully that is useful, and I'll have the code up there, as simple as it might be. And thank you much, and I'll see you again soon.